I always begin my shows with, hello out there. I am trying to get through, but I'm not getting through because there are certain things I just got to keep saying over and over and over again. Guys, when are we going to get this straightened out? The motives of the attackers in a self-defense case don't matter. Don't believe me? We'll read section 939.48 of the Wisconsin Statutes and I'll show it to you. Hello out there. I'm trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
Okay, so I've had a couple of comments come in, and they both point to the same misunderstanding. Well, Joseph Rosenbaum really meant to do the right thing by chasing Kyle. Anthony Huber and Gage Grosskreutz, they were just trying to protect the community. Before I go any further, I am not a lawyer. I do my best, but I actually do read the statutes. And that gives me an edge over most of the people who don't, including a lot of lawyers out there getting on these talk shows and claiming they know all about self-defense in terms of Kyle's case, and they go shoot their mouths off, and it's clear that they have not read the Wisconsin statutes. All right, let's take a look. What does the law say about this? 2019, Wisconsin Statutes and Annotations, Chapter 939. Here we go, 939.48, Self-Defense and the Defense of Others. A person is privileged to threaten or intentionally use force against another for the purpose of preventing or terminating what the person reasonably believes to be an unlawful interference with his or her person by such other person. Okay, so let me read this thing really slowly for you here. I'm going to translate this. It says here, a person, that's Kyle, is privileged to threaten or intentionally use force against another. In other words, he can shoot Joseph Rosenbaum and Gage Grosskreutz and Anthony Huber for the purpose of preventing or terminating, for the purpose of stopping what he reasonably believes to be an unlawful interference of himself by those other people. Now, what's really important, and I'm going to say this thing again and again, and I'm going to have to do another video another 2 weeks from now because I'll be getting the same comments back. Let me say it really clearly. It says here, for the purpose of preventing or terminating what the person reasonably believes to be an unlawful interference. It doesn't say anything in there about the motive of the attacker. It doesn't matter. What matters is what Kyle believes. And does Kyle have a good reason to believe that he is facing an unlawful interference? His claim is going to be that he is that claim reasonable? That's what matters. Now, you can go ahead and read the rest of it. I've read all of it. There's nothing there that's going to be relevant to what we're talking about today. Let me give you an example, a very clear example of the distinction between an unlawful interference by somebody else and an unlawful interference by yourself. Okay? Let's suppose you have two people, Jane Doe and John Doe. Jane Doe has been told that John Doe is out to kill her. She's naturally scared, so she puts a gun in her purse, and she starts to walk home. It's dark, it's late at night, and guess who she encounters? John Doe. At that moment, John Doe pulls out a cell phone, and she thinks it's a gun. Remember, somebody told her that he was out to kill her at night. It looks like a gun. She thinks it's a gun, so she pulls her guns out and she shoots him. Now, you may think, well, he was only pulling out his cell phone. He had no intention of hurting her. It doesn't matter. All that matters is, did she have a reason to believe that she faced serious bodily injury? And the answer is maybe. It all comes down to whether the sight of the cell phone would have compelled a normal, reasonable person to believe that they were going to be shot. And if you don't believe me, you look at all those police cases. There's the one in Sacramento. Police officers shot, what was his name? They shot him because they thought he was pointing a gun at them. It turned out to be a cell phone. The fact that he had no intention of hurting the police officers, to our knowledge, is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. All that matters is what they perceived. Now, it's quite possible that in an incident, you could have both sides claim self-defense. For example, let's suppose that Jane Doe meets up with John Doe again. And she thinks, oh my God, he's pulling out what looks like a gun. I'm going to pull my gun and shoot him. So she does, but she misses. He takes his gun out and shoots her and misses. They have both committed a crime on the face of it, prima facie. In other words, if you take everything at face value, they have committed a crime. But they both have a self-defense claim, and they both can make that claim. The courts could say both acted in self-defense. So, this whole idea that Joseph Rosenbaum only chased Kyle because he thought Kyle had threatened him earlier is irrelevant as far as Kyle's self-defense claim goes. Joseph Rosenbaum is not on trial. It's not Joseph Rosenbaum that's claiming self-defense. It's Kyle. What matters then is what Kyle perceived, not Joseph Rosenbaum. Now, if Rosenbaum had been arrested for this incident, he could then maybe claim that he faced serious bodily injury on account of what he perceived, in which case he might be able to claim self-defense. However, he is not on trial. It's Kyle that's on trial, and all that matters is, what did Kyle perceive? Did he think that Joseph Rosenbaum was acting unlawfully when he chased him? And the answer is, of course. What does this mean, unlawful interference? Well, what would be a lawful interference? The police. If the police pull up and they got their sirens on and they say police and they pull their guns out, you can't shoot them and claim self-defense because you would not have perceived that their interference with you was unlawful. It could also be a citizen's arrest, for example. However, I have news for everybody out there talking about citizen's arrest of Kyle did not happen. You don't arrest people by running from behind and hit him in the head. You arrest people for the purposes of detaining them so that you can turn them over to the police. It does not give you a license to kill. Besides, and again, we got to go back. What did Kyle perceive? Did he perceive that they were only trying to perform a citizen's arrest on him? It doesn't matter if they were. In their deepest of hearts, they might be thinking that they were doing a citizen's arrest. And in fact, it might be clear later that they were, in fact, only trying to effect a citizen's arrest. It doesn't matter. Did Kyle know that at the time? And the answer to that is no. He would not have had any reason to believe they were only trying to perform a citizen's arrest. Let's see, he's running, and somebody runs in from behind him and clocks him with a skateboard. That was Huber. Gee, that doesn't sound like somebody out there to try to simply arrest him so that they can detain him to turn him over to the police. And the same could be said for Grosskreutz. Would Kyle have really thought, after being attacked by Huber, by Rosenbaum, by a mob, that Gage was really only there to detain him? The answer is of course not. Gage would have had to make it very clear to Kyle that he was only there to effect a citizen's arrest. For example, I'm here to arrest you. Saying something like that might have helped him. But you have to make it clear to the person you're attacking that you're only there to arrest them, that you're not there to harm them. And that didn't happen. In another statement, there was something made about Rosenbaum carrying a chain, but not having the chain on him. Doesn't matter. If Kyle saw Rosenbaum carrying the chain around, then there's a good reason to believe that Rosenbaum still had it. And if Kyle legitimately thought that Rosenbaum was armed, then that's enough. However, grabbing hold of Kyle's rifle is really all he needs. That's an assault. That's going to be plenty to convince a jury that he thought he faced serious bodily injury. Not whether he faced serious bodily injury. That's not it. It's whether he thought that he faced serious bodily injury. And you can talk to any police officer, and they'll tell you, yeah, if somebody grabs hold of my gun, I'm going to defend myself. Why? Well, he could take the gun from me and shoot me. Yeah, I know. That's exactly what Kyle would have thought. Any rational person. And again, what's the standard? The question is, would a normal, rational person think that he faced serious bodily injury when somebody tries to take his gun from him after chasing him and after hiding his face behind a mask? Yeah. I mean, I would. I'm pretty reasonable. I don't know if this helped. I've tried to clarify this as much as I can. If you think that I didn't do it right, if you think that I got something wrong, by all means, let me know. Like my video, subscribe to my channel.